And then we move over to the girls for the final heats and quarterfinal semis and grand finales will be tomorrow. What a day of action we've had here for the first and second day of competition in Dakhla, Morocco. And our two already there with a 3.20 backup score, increasing to a 9.0, but very close because Maxwell's got a 5.53. Ah, pressure is on, pressure is on. It is starting to get interesting out there as both of these riders are producing some of the goods. And I can see it looks like we're starting to get ready down here in front of the stream booth, as we are going to be having a small interview with the winner of the previous heat, Matthew Lopez, Mr. Tropical himself. All right, getting to that halfway point right now, as 9 minutes already out there. And all right, Matt Maxwell has already got one more wave, so he has now made it through to an 11 points with 2 5-point rides. And Moraes is at the moment in second position. Here we are. Very close heat out there at the moment, and it does look like we have a set coming our way. We are also just getting ready. Just getting ready to go down to the beach. As I can see, Liam has Matthew Lopez for an interview.
Morocco treating you on this event?
Yeah, stoked to make my hits today. The morning was very hard to express my backside and to do the turns and to do everything. Now I had proper waves, proper conditions. Wind direction was also good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to broke it all and not leaving anything back, and yeah, I had so much fun. I was just feeling so much fire up, and I'm stoked. Yeah,
no, that's good. I mean, all the riders seem to be loving the conditions at the moment. Going to your backside riding, just talk to us a little bit about that, because it can be a little bit challenging at this spot. And for those at home that are watching, just explain a little bit more about that sort of backside riding and how you're finding it during this event.
Actually, pretty much all the other riders, they ride on the front side.
Yep.
Here I go with my right foot in the front, so it's a little bit harder to go up and the kite not taking you out of the wave. It's a little bit more challenging. It's front side, normally you need to be face to face and you kind of doing half rotation. Yep. And with the back side I need to do kind of like 180 plus to get up there and then to come down. It's a little bit hard to steer the kite with this, especially with this wind super gusty. Yep. And then which is light, the wave is soft. So I'm very stoked right now. The wind is on and could put some action on.
Nice. And just before we let you go, you've got that lovely, snappy, fluid style on the wave. You look so in control of it. Moving forward, what can we expect to see?
Man, I just hope for good waves, good wind. I'm not gonna leave anything behind. If I lose, I lose. The guy is gonna sweat hard. So I'm gonna go, I'm gonna have fun. Brilliant. And this is what I'm here for.
Brilliant. Well, there we have it. Wise words from Matthew Lopez on the beach here in Dakhla, Morocco. Let's go and check out the action that's going down right now.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Matthew definitely looking like he has the hunger and he is ready to throw down. But at the moment, we still have Matt Maxwell from South Africa in the lead. And a very nice top turn there, getting that tail, throwing the water nice and vertical. And one thing I really like about Matt is when he comes down, he has exactly the same amount of speed as when he went up. So making sure that he is really using the waves, and this is why he's getting the higher scores out there. Judges liking what they see. But we can see Marais there as well in that second position, dropping in on yet another wave and a couple of big turns. Watch out. There could be a change out there because this wave is starting to open up very nicely. A little bit of a mid-face handbrake turn there to get rid of a little bit of speed. And hopefully this is where the wave is going to open up and start to get a bit more hollow. And deciding against that one. So what does he need? He needs a 5.23 is what is needed there by Artur Marais if he wants to be taking that first position. Okay, so there we can see Maxwell dropping in on yet another wave. Here he comes. Still in the lead, but looking to improve over that 5.50. Let's see if he can get past this section. No, the wave closing out in front of him. So probably not going to be improving on that score. And already Marais out the back has a small score. So he has the opportunity, he has the highest score of the heat with a 5.8. But he has a small score of a 3.20 and a 9 total. So he needs a 5.23 if he wants to take the win at the moment in the closing minutes of this heat, as we are just approaching a little bit over 3 minutes left. And there we can see the bird's eye view of our beautiful contest area here at the West Point Hotel for the first event of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla, Morocco. One of the longest right-handers of the Atlantic, and so far has been giving and delivering us some very nice waves. Coming up next will be the final heat of the men, where we will see our current world champion James Carew coming out onto the scene. And let's not forget Sebastian Ribeiro already with a 17 plus heat. He is definitely the man to beat out there at the moment. And let's see if the current world champion can get close to those numbers. Ayrton Cosolino is definitely up there. Matthew as well. Let's see what the current world champ has. The Australian powerhouse, but at the moment on your screen, there we can see the Brazilian Moraes trying to improve on that 3.8 as he needs a 5.3-ish to be able to advance through. 2 minutes coming up left on the clock, and there we can see Matt Maxwell. Also, this wave is starting to peel off nicely. There you can see the face forming. It's getting nice and clean. Oh! A little bit of a cover-up. If my eyes are not mistaken, maybe we can see if we can have a replay of that, because that was right in the middle of the sun. But he timed that very nicely. Did he get in there? Well, I'm going to say it looked like a little bit of a shadow. I'll give it to him. Obviously not deep in the barrel, but definitely does look like a little bit of a shadow there from Matt Maxwell. So he's going to look to try and increase. Obviously didn't have many turns before, but from this perspective, did look like he was getting a little cover-up. And nice to see the boys mixing it up as we are now approaching the final minutes of this heat of round number 5, which will define the winner. Will be making his way through to the quarterfinals here of Dakhla. Tomorrow we will have the quarters, the semis, and the grand finales. But now we have 1 more minute out there, and it is very close because 10.5 overall average there for Artur Moraes. And here we have Matt Maxwell dropping in 1 more time. Gonna try and improve. Love how he lets that tail loose, keeping the speed. Now this is that little flat section. And it depends on the sandbanks if this will make it. And you can see dropping off there, unfortunately. And also out the back, it looks like the Brazilian is going to have to pretty much go on this wave right there now. So for the final attempt of the heat, needing a 5.23 if he wants to be advancing. Let's see what he has here. First check turn back. It's looking like the shoulder is going down, looking like this is not going to make it all the way in. He is definitely going to have to milk this if he wants to get those kind of scores. Turn number 2. And unfortunately the wave dying out there, as we do have to wait for those final scores. But looking as it is at the moment. And yes, there it is. So it's official. It is going to be Matthew Maxwell from South Africa making it through into the quarterfinals here in Dakhla, taking out the 4-time national Brazilian champ Artur Moraes, but putting on a very good battle. What a good fight in between those two athletes as we continue on. But before we do so, let's have a little look at the highlights from that heat.
So I'm down here with Matt Maxwell, who's just come off the water and once again has taken the win. Matt, you just keep knocking these guys down, you keep advancing, you must be thrilled with how you're performing. Just let us know a little bit about that heat, because you must be so happy.
Yeah, it was super sick. Even a couple like micro barrels there, like on the inside, like half a foot, but super fun. And yeah, just feeling like super good. Ready for the next one. I think I got James in the next heat, so that's going to be a tough one, but just going to give it everything. I got nothing to lose. So
yeah, I mean, now you're progressing into these heats. The competition's going to get harder, but you're fired up, you're revved up, you're ready to go. We saw a few of those little barrels there. What do you reckon? Were you deep enough?
No, you can't really call those barrels, but yeah, little head dips, little shampoos, so I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah, and we saw as well, obviously the tide's pushing out now, that mid-section, sort of a little bit hit and miss. There were a few times where you were able to put a few turns on, but then a few times where it really flattened out and you're sort of trying to pump your way through. The wave there, was it slightly challenging compared to earlier in the day when you had your heat?
I'd say it may be a bit easier actually, just because there's more wind, so you can kind of get around the sections. But I mean, it's bowling up on the inside now, so it's really fun. Whereas earlier it was pretty full, so it was very fat on the wave. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good playground at the moment. The guys are going to have fun in the next few heats.
Well, there we go. Well, brilliant. Good luck for the next one, and we'll see you then. There we go. Matt Maxwell showing what he's made of. And now we go back to Joe to catch up on the action on the water.
Yeah, Yeah, micro barrels is definitely a word. Getting a little Head and Shoulders shampoo. Is it Pantene? Is it Head and Shoulders? We will have to find out. But good work there from the South African. Now, out in the water, another youngster who has been thrown down at this event, Hendrik Lopez, and our current world champion, James Carew. Let's get right back out onto the water because these boys are throwing down, and it is only the start of the heat. All right, and it looks like there are some waves. And now, as that tide is coming down, we start to see the riders moving a little bit further to the left of the competition area. And I tell you what, there is a set coming through, and that man on your screen, James Carew, has seen it as well. I haven't seen many waves coming over here. He's getting off on a little outside bomb, dropping in the current world champion. Big hat, cut back turn, coming back to the foam board, making it nice and easy, chilling, cruising and perusing, waiting for that wave to get a little bit more vertical. Here he comes down again. Big bottom turn, hack back to the foam board one more time, making sure he is in position as soon as that wave gets vertical. Big off the lip there. Just trying to get underneath it there, but just closing out a bit in front of him. So let's have a little look at the old scores there. Even playing field at the moment, but James Carew slightly in the lead with an 8.17 of his opener wave. We are now just coming up on 14 minutes. Let's not forget the winner of this heat will be making his way in to the quarterfinals. And James already above that 13-point average with an 8.17 and a 4.90. There is definitely action out there at the moment. Current world champ throwing down. So we can see there, James out on one of the new Neos. And we have Hendricks out on the F1 Bandit, if I'm not mistaken from what I can see from here. And it looks like James has decided to be a little bit further to the left of the competition area. So you can just see him there on your left-hand side of your screen. And there is the eye in the sky. And I love these drone shots where you can just see what the riders are doing all the way out there. If that water was clear, I wonder if we see a couple of little friends underneath their boards, the old Sharkaroonies. And here you are going to come right into shot, and that is the beautiful West Point Hotel. Those front row rooms, I tell you what, you can have a shower and watch the waves. Best way to wake up in the morning with the sound of the ocean just crashing against those rocks. It doesn't get closer than this. We're really fortunate to have this event site because pretty much until the conditions are on, you can chill out in your room. And then when it does get on, 5 minutes you are down on the beach in position and ready to rock and roll. So let's keep going as it looks like maybe there are some ripples and some bumps coming our way, as we are now just a little shy of 12 minutes to go. And at the moment it is James Carew with a 12.57 total already and an 8.17 for that first wave. Great way to start as we have action on in the water. There we can see Hendrik and James making their way down a little bit of the old synchronized surfing. Hendricks, who has a 6.373, already got some scores up. As we approach, coming up on the final 10 minutes of this heat, we can see there Hendrik Lopez dropping in on a nice wave. Let's see what the Cape Verdean has for us. Oh, it's looking like a nice wave if he can get past this foam ball. Yes, he does. Open face turn, back to the whitewater, gain some more speed. Now it starts to hack up. Can he get a good turn? Yes, he can. Very nice off the top there from Hendricks. Linking it up with another turn, getting that tail loose. Two good, solid hacks there. And now a little bit of a floater at the end of that one for a finisher. So a good wave there from Hendricks, as that would be a good backup wave for him. He needs plus of an 8-point ride to take the lead. But starting to get his groove on as we just get past that 8-minute mark. And we are approaching halfway through this heat. Winner will be making it through to the quarterfinals here of the GK Kite-Surf World Cup in Dakhla, Morocco. And there it is, a 12.13. Hendricks is 6.73 of that last ride. I tell you what, Hendricks has improved over the winter on his wave riding. And talk about getting some decent scores up there. He is up against the current world champion, but he is not going out with a fight. We saw him go out against Ayrton Cosolino in his last heat. And now he's been drawn James. So not the easiest way through this competition, but that is not stopping the youngster, as he is not going to leave anything to the tank. Pedal to the metal like a bat out of hell. Watch out, we have a Cape Verdean freight train coming your way. All right, so this is going to be the final men's heat of the day, as we are stopping after round number 5, and we will continue on with round number 4 of the women's, where we will see who will be making their way through into the quarterfinals. As it stands, just coming up on 6 o'clock in the afternoon, 6:30, excuse me, time flies when you're having fun. 6:30 in the afternoon, and your current world champion James Carew already on top. We've seen some very good heats there. 8s and 9s from Sebastian Ribeiro, your current highest scorer of this competition, and definitely one of the big contenders. But out there now, we are going to have to see James Carew waiting to find another little nugget. And from what I can see all the way out the back there, it looks like there is some movement, and it looks like James is about to drop in on yet another set wave. There he goes, swinging the kite. James Carew dropping in. All the way out the back. Big open face hack back to the whitewater. Pulling against that kite. The kite ain't flying him, he is flying the kite. I would not mess with this Australian rider. And now this is where it flattens out, and it looks like in front of him is starting to hollow out. Let's see. Okay, engages on a turn. Little check turn in front of the whitewater. Little bit of a wave climb there. Letting the fins loose. And it has completely flattened out here for him. So this is definitely not going to be a big potential scorer, unfortunately, due to that section there. And there you can see he's decided to go against that. So it did look like it was going to make his way all the way to the bottom, but, you know, Mother Nature is boss and did not throw him a bone there, but still looking to improve on a 6.57, and he's going to be going back out, and let's see what happens on the next set. though you were Brazilian, probably the second place I would say is French because of your, how you do it. I know. Seriously. Yeah, you have got that French name. It could be worse. Brazilian women and French women, probably one of the best ones out there was Spain. So you could be doing a lot worse. You could be doing a lot worse for yourself. All right, so it is looking like a little low there in this heat at the moment. The sun is starting to shine straight front on in the competition area. And Marcella Witt just coming by this live stream booth, having a little look-see of the conditions as she is going to be going out on the water very soon, because after this heat we have 4 more women's heats to see who will be making it through. And that will be it for the day. But at the moment, James Carew there with 14.94, excuse me. And Hendrik Lopez has definitely been putting in the work in the off-season with a 12.70. The boy has been putting in the extra work, and I hadn't seen him on the waves for a long time, but wow, this guy has definitely improved. Went out to his uncle, Edson Cotolino, before, and now if he needs to get a big score, if he doesn't want to be taken out by the current world champ, not the easiest road, but he is not leaving anything out there. The knife is in between the teeth, and he is ready to slash, slash, slash. There we can see James Carew waiting out the back, next to that yellow buoy where we see some of those bigger set waves come in. And he's looking at something. If we see him fly and swoop that kite, he will be going into this one. Yes, he is. All right. Big opening turn there, keeping the speed. This is where he go back right to all right, now this is where he loops it. This is where this section starts to open up. James Carew, front and center on your screen. Good timing getting the hack off of the top of that one. Middle section also times it perfectly, gets past that first white water. And this wave is starting to open up really nicely all the way down. Look at the amount of white water he is spraying off on each one of those turns. Now he's going to stay, keep himself inside the pocket so he can get some little nuggets off of this one. There you can see it doesn't open up as much as the wave is a little bit smaller. And maybe we're going to see a little air maneuver. I can see that high in the sky. No, deciding against it, making his way out. But another good wave there from James, looking to improve on that 677 as we just close off in the final 2 minutes of this heat. All right, James Carew dropping in again. Nice little spin there. Getting the old 360, letting the tail loose. Improved on a 7.43 for that nice big wave before. And getting past that 15-point average out there. And this is where we're going to see an air. I can see him going off. Oh, looking to try and get the back loop ender, but not quite being able to land it. But still James Carew, 15.60. And now Hendrik Lopez looking to improve. He would need an 8.67 if he wants to take the win. Missed a couple of the first turns of this one. Let's see if this wave will give him some scoring potential. But it does look like it's dying out on the bottom as we come to the closing seconds of this one. All right, and there it is. Unfortunately, that is not going to be enough. So there it is, making his way through to the next round, our current world champion, James Carew, with a total of 15.60. But I tell you what, a big round of applause to Hendrik Lopez, putting in the hours on the off-season, and a solid performance here for him. He is definitely going to have a smile on his face. And coming up next, that is going to be the final ladies heat. Final men's heat, excuse me, and we will be moving in to the ladies for 4 more heats, and that will be it, or that will be all, folks. So more action coming our way, but before we start with the girls, let's enjoy these video highlights.
So I'm down here with our current GKA Kite-Surf world champion, James Carew. James, this is the first time we've managed to catch up so far during all your heats. Just give us a little rundown. How have they played out so far for you? You've just come in, you've told me it's firing. Let's let the people know at home what's going on down in the water.
Yeah, sorry about the interviews, mate. I totally forgot.
Good.
But, I mean, it's absolutely firing. I'm on my 10, absolutely lit. The waves are just cooking, you know, the tide's dropping, so it's probably going to get even better. And, I mean, it's just so nice to get this spot like this. It's absolutely firing.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun, just
Well,
so much speed.
Yeah, I mean, let's throw it back to last year. This is a special place in your heart. You got your first world championship here, but the conditions last year obviously weren't like this. So it must be great for you to be able to feel the wave, really get amongst it out there. And I guess, obviously, the goal at the end of this one as well is to take the win.
Yep. So usually, actually, it's very hard for me, this place. I never really had, I never felt that I was riding so well, but now I'm feeling really connected to the spot. I mean, it helps that it's absolutely firing, but yeah, this place this year is really providing. So yeah, hopefully make it through some more heats and get the job done.
Yeah, well, we'll see you back in action tomorrow. I'll let you go now, sort yourself out, but thank you very much for joining us. James Carew, everyone. We're going to go back to Joe now, who's got the action on the water.
Thank you, Liam. As we are back, good to see James saying that he's connected. It definitely is a love-hate relationship for that boy here in this wave, because he did get his World Championship here, but he has never really had a great result. He got that coming through the quarterfinals last year, but then he was kicked out and didn't make it through, and I know he wants the win. But, I mean, come on. Becoming world champions in the desert, under the sun, I can tell you that after party was fun, I can say that. Moving on, we will continue on in the water as we have the ladies. And wow, it looks like we are having some nice waves coming our way, as it looks like these girls are going to have a set straight off the bat. So out there on the water is going to be in between Francis, Kelly, and Sonia Bunter. And I tell you what, there are lines stacked across the horizon. All right, so dropping in is going to be Francis. I can see her lining up a wave all the way out the top. Let's see what she can do with this one. Francis, first turn, makes her way along. Wave is starting to open up. And flattening out a little bit there, unfortunately. And making her way all the way down, just not really being able to connect any of the turns, quite flat at the moment. Running herself through at the moment, she has it for 2.47. But this wave definitely got it all the way from the first section here. Just a little more verticality is what the judges are going to want to see if she wants to get the top scores. But still opener, 14 minutes to go, loads of time as we enter the first of 4 heats of the ladies here. Both of our athletes making their way back up to the top of this West Point right-hander in pursuit of yet another set, starting off nicely as we have a 5.13 and a 2.47 already for Francis Kelly. Dropping down the hammer early on, taking a 7.60 total score. And Sonia Bunter still waiting out the back as she was caught a little bit too far out and was not able to get one of those set waves. All right, and there comes another set. These girls have already had 2 sets in this heat. The weather and Mother Nature is definitely throwing them a bone. And once again, it does look like Francis Kelly is in position. And here, front and center there on the core, Sonia Bunter making her way through. And going on this first wave, one first check turn. Nice and smooth. Second one, and keeping the balance going down. Yeah, keeping it together. Oh, grabbing the front edge, unfortunately, there on that one, as that looked like it could have been a very nice wave. And Frances Kenny one more time in position. Sonia getting a 2.3 for that last ride. And here we have Frances, yet another set wave. These girls are getting some waves in this heat. You haven't quite seen any waves like this. Just losing a little bit of speed there, as that is the gustier section of this competition area, as it's right up against the spit. So make sure that you have the power in the wave to be able to power through. There you can see as they lose that power in the kite, they can't keep traveling there with speed. As we are just under 9 minutes coming up on the halfway mark of this first heat of the ladies. Frances Kelly one more time. She's got a 5.27 and a 4.13. The Canadian definitely throwing down the hammer early on. And as we said, it's already got 3 good solid scores. And leading the heat at the moment, Sonia Bunter making her way all the way out the back. Has a strategy more of waiting it out and see if she can get one of those bigger set waves. Risky business, as already Frances has a solid lead, but anything can happen, because let's not forget 18 minutes of action out here of the first of 4 of the ladies' heats for day number 2 of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla, Morocco. And what a day it has been, and as James Carew was saying, it is firing out there, and these girls have already had 2 sets in their heat. And there's the eye in the sky, as it looks like we have a few more lines coming our way, but both of these ladies have gone all the way out into the ocean. As it looks like they're going to try and find the Titanic out there and make their way back to the West Point Hotel. They make it back in time for dinner. And let's see if another set will be coming their way. Once again, Frances Kelly in position. And Sonia Bunter trying to make her way back, and there we can see the Canadian. Looks like she's going to drop in on another wave as it is forming. We get a perfect view there with our drone. Great to see all of these different perspectives out there. The wave is a very long way away. And there we can see both of our athletes starting to make their way down, as there it is. Frances Kelly deciding against that, and is going to turn around and try and get herself back into position, as it does look like there might be a set coming their way. All right, so Frances on this wave, trying to improve on that backup score for 4.13. And riding it all the way down to the front of the competition area. There you can see, as she just makes it, just not quite getting that turn, unfortunately. Let's see if she can improve on that score as we just approach the final 5 minutes. Coming out next, we will have Camille Lassaran versus Charlotte Carpentier. Then it will be Zoe Brazil versus Clemence Dirian. And Suzanne Swartstraber, excuse me, versus Daniela Moreno. It's very impressed with the riding there of Susanna Swartstraber in the previous heats, and she's going to be in heat number 4, going up against Daniela Moreno. Currently on the water, we have Frances Kelly versus Sonia Bunter. Sonia still yet to catch a second wave, as it looks like she's going to wait for that set to come her way. Risky move, as Frances Kelly already is in the lead with 9.40. So she would be needing a 7.1 if she wants to take the lead. And just waiting to see if both of our athletes can get back into position and start to make their way forward. As it stands, it is Frances Kelly in the driving seat with the golden jersey. So Sonia Bunter is definitely going to have to maybe change her strategy, as at the moment it looks like she is so far out that she can't get in on any of these waves. And Frances is just picking off a few of the insiders, and it is definitely working for her so far. And we're coming up on the last 2 minutes of this heat, where there is little action here at the moment. And let's see, as there does look like maybe another set wave is going to be coming their way. And Sonia Bunter seems like she is in better position. And here we have Frances Kelly a little further down the competition area. Is getting gustier there on the inside. She's trying to get into this one. She's very far out on the shoulder, so probably only going to be a one-hit wonder, unfortunately. As we start to come to the closing hours, as 7 o'clock is up there, closing hour making it, as we have 3 more heats of the women's discipline, and that will be it for the day. What a day of action we have had so far, seeing some of the highest scores. 9.57 there from Sebastian Ribeiro, the highest score of the competition so far. And Sonia Bunter here, front and center, looking for a 7-point ride, but that is going to be very hard already all the way down here, as that is what she would need if she wants to overtake Kelly, Frances Kelly. Just put in the work early on in the heat. And yes, that is definitely not going to be enough. So unless something miraculous happens in the next 20 seconds, which I definitely think it is not going to, making her way through to the next round of the competition is going to be Frances Kelly, Ocean Rodeo, out of Canada. And there's the buzzer, meaning that is the end of that heat. Where making her way through to the next round is going to be Frances Kelly from Canada. And as we have some action out there on the water, we're going to continue on. But let's take a short commercial break.
I've thought about this, I've dreamt about this. It's just been such a great experience and I'm so stoked. No words to describe how great I'm feeling right now.
A full day of action here at the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup Dakhla 2022, and waves are definitely back on the agenda as 41 male and female riders from 15 countries assembled to battle it out here in Morocco.
Next women's round. Frances, the tide's dropping now, but the waves are still pumping. Give us your little rundown on how you felt that heat went for you.
Oh, that was super fun. When the sets come through, it's like, oh man, Dakhla's just turning on for us. Like, it couldn't be any better. The wind is getting a bit light, especially towards the end, so it was super challenging. But yeah, I'm super stoked.
And you're out here not just by yourself. You're with Luke Millard. How nice is it for the pair of you to come to Dakhla together, to compete together, to travel together, and just see how far both of you can get in the competition?
Yeah, it's the dream. Living the dream. Yeah, thank you, Luke. He's the best caddy ever. Like, it's honestly so good. We've got such a good support team, all the Ocean Rodeo, loving our equipment, and yeah, we're having a blast, so couldn't be happier to be here. Thanks everyone for watching at home too. Super stoked to see you guys.
Well, there we go. I mean, the excitement's through the roof. Yeah. Everyone's buzzing, and I'll let you go now, prep for the next round, which is going to be tomorrow now, so you can rest up, take it easy, enjoy dinner.
And it's my birthday tomorrow.
And it's your birthday. Well then, tomorrow hopefully is another good day for you, and we'll catch you then.
Thank you, Liam. Thanks everyone back home. Yay!
And there we go, absolutely stoked, through the roof, loving life down here in Dakhla, like all the other riders. And we're going to send it back to Joe, who's going to catch up on the final few heats down here in Dakhla, Morocco.
There it is, there it is. Wow, happy birthday, Frances. That's all I can say. as we are going to be having a little bit of a party in the coming days, as we have that after party here in Dakhla. That would never go down, but no, coming up next we have more heats out there on the water, as we have 3 more heats of the women's, and that will be it for today. So coming up next, we can start to see some of our athletes get out there. I'm just waiting for this to refresh. I do apologize, to see who is out there on the next heat. Camille Lassaran versus Charlotte Carpentier. And already we can see Camille getting a 2.57. And look at that beauty shot of the waves and of our competition area. And here we can start to see the youngster from Switzerland living out of Tarifa, Spain, Camille, starting to get a couple of waves and starting to get into her groove. There we can see both our athletes at the top one more time, and Camille definitely seems like she is in tune, as she has caught 3 waves already in the lead with 3.90. It is quite flat and light there in that middle section, like Francis just said. But now there are some nice lines, so both of these athletes are going to be able to go down. All right, that's a better turn there. Wants to try and get a little bit more vertical, is going straight lining, unfortunately, as she's getting pulled off, as it is very offshore here on the left-hand side. Over there, that's a better turn, starting to get the tail a little bit looser. And Charlotte Carpentier also off the top. Can she keep it together? Oh, yeah, just getting pulled off of her board there, but a boat wave for each of them. Let's see what kind of scores are going to be coming our way.
¿Dónde estamos?
And there we can see Charlotte Carpentier is starting to use and run up the beach to be able to get back into position, as the wind is starting to be quite light out there. And it looks like she's going to be changing kite size from what I can see here on our screen, as the wind has definitely dropped down. Yep, she is going to be changing kite size, and now she's going to be running back up to the top, as she is in second position at the moment. With a 2.07, needing a 3.73 if he wants to take the lead. And I can just see her running past, looking to try and get a bigger kite. And I can see Francis there going to be helping her out. Down goes the board, all right, going to grab the bar. So yeah, it does look like, if I'm not mistaken, yes, she's going to be taking out either a 10 or a 12, as the wind definitely is dropping off. And it does look like she can't get this kite up. So we're going to find out from the race director if conditions are still suitable out there, because I can see that both of these athletes are having a very hard time of making their way out there. We can see Camille is already all the way up the top, and it looks like there is a spin in the lines here for Charlotte Carpentier. And we are just waiting. Alright, so Camille looks like she's back in. The wind's looking like it's picking up again. Then we can see Charlotte running, getting dragged. She is sprinting. Okay. She's got to calm down a little bit there, as she still has time. 8 minutes left on the clock. But she has gone out again. She's put up a 9-meter kite. And Camille here on a nice wave, as she is in the lead with a 5.70. Charlotte has a 2.07, so still more than in contentions for this heat as we continue on here for day number 2. Charlotte running up the beach. She's going to be getting into the water, as she is a little bit, she's going to get in there where she's a little shy of 7 minutes left. So quite a low heat, this one at the moment, as conditions are quite marginal out there. Confirmation on that for the final 6 minutes of this heat, in between Camille Lasserang and Charlotte Carpentier. All right, Charlotte dropping in on another section all the way out the back, so it does look like that time, taking her time, has been able to give her a wave, and she just needs to stay on this and ride it all the way to the bottom, as she already has a 2.07, so needs a very small score if she wants to overtake Camille. We have the final 4 minutes of this heat, and hopefully conditions are going to increase, because it even looks like it's starting to get glassy out there as the wind is dying off here on the inside section. The sun is starting to get low, and it's getting golden and romantic. And as they would say, it is definitely 5 o'clock somewhere, and I know we're going to be opening up a very nice cold beer at the end of this today. What a day of action we have had. And we can already see the next two athletes out there, Kessiani Rodriguez and Zoe, getting ready for their next heat. But currently it is Camila Saran and Charlotte Carpentier who are in the water of this heat number 2 of round number 4 of the competition. And it is going to be up next will be Zoe Brasilia and Clemence Derrien in heat number 3 of round number 4 of the women, as we are just waiting for the final moments of this heat. As I can see, Charlotte is almost back in position. Hopefully there be enough time for one more. Maybe enough time for one more wave. And let's see if there can be a change on the leaderboard. Final 2 minutes, but our athletes definitely having a hard time of keeping up wind. So both of these ladies completely out of... And it looks like maybe Charlotte Carpentier is going to have enough wind to get in on one more wave. 20 opportunity. All right, Charlotte Carpentier for the final wave. It is coming down nicely. Speed running it a little bit here. She wants to get some turns in. Gets turn number 2. Cameraman to the left. Let's stay with her. Bless me, excuse me. Charlotte Carpentier going down there, needing a 3.63 if she was to take the win. We will soon find out, but before we do, let's go and see some action as we are going to take a small commercial break.
I've thought about this, I've dreamt about this. It's just been such a great experience and I'm so stoked. No words to describe how great I'm feeling right now.
Since 1997, we have imagined the exceptional. From our very first flight, to flying passengers to hundreds of destinations around the globe. We launched our first premium terminal dedicated to first and business class passengers and opened the world's best airport, Hamad International Airport. In 2017, we broke the record for the longest commercial flight with 9,032 miles flown, and delivered unforgettable experiences to our passengers on board and on the ground. Reuniting millions of families during the pandemic. You're the reason we go above and beyond. And you've helped us become the world's best airline, a record 6 times. All this in just 25 years. Imagine what the next 25 will bring. Qatar Airways, 25 years of excellence.
So I'm down on the beach with our heat winner, Camille. We're through, the sun is setting, we're coming towards the end of the day. You were on earlier. Just talk to us a little bit about how the conditions have changed from earlier in this heat, because you've just come in, you've sounding a little bit out of breath, it looked like a little bit of hard work. Talk to us about it.
Yeah, the conditions were very tricky now. I mean, wind is dropping a lot and the waves are not coming in a good way. So like, it was a fun heat, but was not easy. But I'm happy to win this one, and let's see what's coming next.
Yeah, the wind's definitely dropped. You were on your 8 meter, slightly underpowered.
Yeah, I was not overpowered. That's sure.
Well, we've got a similar forecast for tomorrow, so you've had a good practice today. You'll be all set. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. For now, I'll let you go. Enjoy your evening, and we'll catch up later. Yeah. Okay, Joe, and we go back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much, Liam. Thank you, Camille. Good work there from her. And yes, she was definitely underpowered there on her 8 meter. As we continue on, we have Zoe Basile versus Clémence Derrien, the 2 French athletes out on the water. For us, we have one more women's heat after this, and let's see some of the action here as who is going to be going through to the next round. So we got a 4.33 there from Zoe, as we have already gone through 4 minutes of this heat. Zoe coming out of nowhere, young surfer from Brittany in France. The first time appearing on the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup and the GKA Kite World Tour, and putting on one hell of a show. The second to best combination score, together with Kessiane Rodriguez, the Brazilian, who was on fire earlier this morning. And now we are just waiting to see who is going to be going through to the next round. As there we can see Zoe Basile already with a 4.33. Okay, there we have Zoe Basile. Looks like she is going to drop in on a wave. And out the back we can see there Clémence Derrian, 2 French athletes. There we have Zoe. And you can see it is very fluky, the wind here on the middle section. Zoe with a second check turn. This wave is looking nice. Off the top, keeping the power, making sure she's got that kite going. Big combination move there, linking those 2 turns together. Judges are going to like this. Once again, back to the power zone. This wave is forming out really nicely. Oh, just going head over heels there, unfortunately. But that was a very good wave, a very good surfing there from the French athlete. And let's have a look at the little replay of that one. And here we have Clémence Derrian. Looks like she's going to take off on this inside roll a little bit too far out, and this is why you can see, yep, completely losing the speed there. And Zoe, unfortunately, looks like she has her kite down. Let's see if she can get that back up. So she is potentially almost in the impact zone. But a 7.87 for that last wave from her. Definitely going to be one of the top riders here in this competition. She is getting multiple big scores left, right and center as we approach just over the 10-minute mark, because coming up next after this is going to be Susanne Schwartztraber versus Daniela Moreno. Let's have a little look at that replay of that last wave from Zoe Basile. Here we see connecting that first turn. It's when she links them together. This is what the judges really like. Look, keeps the speed, comes down, powers down, straight in to yet another move. And here she loses a bit of the speed, but then she can generate it one more time with the kite. And engaging and getting all of the power. But they're just unfortunately not quite getting the finish. If that would have been a better wave.
¿Cuál pongo? Tengo el 6, ahora pongo el 5. No, me cambio solo el 6. Vale, vale, a ver.
There we can see the colors coming through as that sunset starts to make through. As we are at that golden hour, ladies and gentlemen. Zoe Basile versus Clémence Derrian, the 2 French athletes. And the wind is definitely starting to die off. So quite a slow heat here at the moment. We have seen a very big score there from Basile with a 7.87. But now the wind definitely does look like it is getting a little bit fluky out there. And let's see if we can continue on with the competition as it is 7.5 minutes to go, and there we can see the highest scoring heat and the highest scoring wave of the competition from that young lady. And now waiting to see them go into the water as they are up next. And there we can see a beautiful image of the final lights here in the afternoon. And that is Zoe Basile from France, one of the heavier hitters here at this competition, getting on some big scores already with that final 7.87. And we're just waiting for the final moments to see who is going to be going through to the next round. So yeah, as you can see, conditions are very borderline out there at the moment. The girls not really having many waves and not really getting up to the impact zone. I got my eye on our race director to see what he is saying, because the idea is to finish off this round. But hey, you know, in the end, Zoe Basile getting a 7.87, throwing down the goods. That is why they got 18 minutes to be able to navigate through these sets, as it has gone very offshore out there at the moment. And now it looks like she's turning around, because yes, here we have. Looks like we have a set wave coming at us. Let's see what the French athlete can do for us. Definitely getting a little dark out there at the moment. It isn't that dark in reality, but obviously with the sun in front of us, the lenses are getting a little bit underexposed. All right, here we have her. Zoe Basile dropping in, engaging on a first turn to submarine, unfortunately. As, yes, the wind has definitely died off there in the middle. I do wonder if we are going to continue on with this round. Let's see if we can get a little bit of information out there, but at the moment, we have that big 7.8, so a score up on the cards. Is this going to be enough? We will soon find out. 4 minutes left in this heat. All right, so that is it. This is going to be the last heat of the day, as the wind is getting so light that they are going to call it after this one. So the last heat of the day is the one you're seeing out there on the water. And at the moment, Zoe Basile is in the lead with a very nice 7.8. So that means we will have one more ladies heat that we'll be starting off with tomorrow morning. What a day of action it has been, as we've seen some of the biggest scores until now. as we continue on here for the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla. And let's see the final 2 minutes of this heat. All right, so just a little less than 2 minutes to go in this heat of this action-packed day here. Day number 2 of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla. And here we can see your current heat leader, Zoe Bazil, making her way down, as we just lost her there, unfortunately. The final moments, as we can see, the wind is dropping off. So this is going to be the final heat of the day with 1 more minute left. 1 more minute. And we can see the rest of the athletes making their way back in as well. Clemence Derian there. Going to try and take off on an inside wave here to close it off. Oh, just timing that a little wrong and getting it straight into the chest. And as the sun starts to go down, okay, so that is it. The final seconds, so it is official. That is going to be the end of the competition for today. And just getting some info in.
I've thought about this, I've dreamt about this. It's just been such a great experience and I'm so stoked. No words to describe how great I'm feeling right now.
Since 1997, we have imagined the exceptional. From our very first flight, to flying passengers to hundreds of destinations around the globe. We launched our first premium terminal dedicated to first and business class passengers and opened the world's best airport, Hamad International Airport. In 2017, we broke the record for the longest commercial flight with 9,032 miles flown, and delivered unforgettable experiences to our passengers on board and on the ground. Reuniting millions of families during the pandemic. You're the reason we go above and beyond. And you've helped us become the world's best airline, a record 6 times. All this in just 25 years. Imagine what the next 25 will bring. Qatar Airways, 25 years of excellence.
A full day of action here at the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup Dakhla 2022, and waves are definitely back on the agenda as 41 male and female riders from 15 countries assemble to battle it out here in Morocco. The long wait for wave action was worth it, especially for the Brazilians who dominated most of the day. Soon after Gabriel Benetton stepped up in Heat 1 of Round 1, the Brazilian aiming to uniquely reach his 3rd GKA final in only his 3rd ever competition.
Yeah, first time here in Morocco. The conditions are just incredible. I was out like on an 11-meter kite. The wind is perfect, the waves are bumping, and yeah, stoked to make my first heat.
Is Gabriel absolutely stoked? We'll see him later on in the day, but for now, we move on to the next heat.
Also finding the conditions in his favour was the 4 times Brazilian kite wave champion Artur Moraes, who advanced impressively from round 1. West Point local legend Mohamed Ali Bekali saw his years of riding development paying off today, commentating that the conditions rarely are as good as it gets here on the first real swell of the season. Rio de Janeiro Pedro Matos joined the Brazilian party next with a super tight demonstration of in-the-pocket riding, but the contest really lit up when Sebastian Ribeiro entered the competition in round 3, signaling the quality to come in the later rounds. As the waves peaked, the Brazilian ex-QS surfer demonstrated an impeccable wave selection, scoring a 9.0 for the longest and most dynamic wave ride of the day.
My legs are burning, the wave is so long. I've been the whole day just watching all the hits. Super excited to go on the water. Finally, I had my chance to grab some of these awesome waves. And yeah, super stoked. I think I did 2 good scores and yeah, ready for the next one.
Later in round 3, for those famous dreadlocks removed but still never to be outdone, Ayrton Cosolino, often impossibly looking hacks and hits, gave him the highest opening wave score of a heat, pitching him nicely in amongst the Brazilians. We are poised for an incredible climax to this event with even better wind and waves coming up in the forecast for West Point. Plus, look out for the first appearance of the current world champion James Carew, and the women will get their campaign underway. So don't miss out and tune in for day 2 of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup Dakhla.
So I'm here with Zoe Basil, who's just made it through to the next round, which will now happen tomorrow. But we're just going to have a little recap. Zoe, nice wave, 7 scored. Was it nice on the water?
Yeah, difficult because the wind is very light. So I try to do other things like flutter or to keep my kite up because it's not easy.
And kite, how big, what size were you on?
10.
10. And right now?
Minimum, I think, because the wind is very light.
And tomorrow, you feel good for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm ready.
There we have it. Zoe's ready for tomorrow. Competition is looking good. We've got one more heat on the water, so let's go and quickly watch what happens out there.
All right, so we can see out there on the water as it looks like we do have a continuation of one more heat. Here we can see Susanne Straber versus Daniela Moreno. Those are your two athletes out there. Round number 4, heat number 4. The final heat of the day. At the moment, still waiting for some scores to come our way. Let's see how they are doing so far. So it is Susanne with a 4.47. A 4.47, so she is currently in the lead. And all of our riders making their way all the way out to the back, as that is the only area where we have started to see some waves coming our way. And there we can see, for the final heat of the day, conditions very light out there at the moment, as we are just coming up under 12 minutes. And here we can see Susanne here on the inside. Trying to make the most of these little rollers all the way in. In the end, it's about getting those points up on the scorecards. And at the moment, she's the only rider to score some waves. So currently in the lead as she is trying to advance her way further through into the competition. And improving a little bit more there of a 5.14 total, with both of these athletes already a little further up. And a very nice wave here down on the left-hand corner. Susanne is taken off on yet another wave in the closing minutes here of the day number 2 of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla, Morocco. And what a day of action it has been. We've seen some of the highest scores of the competition so far. Sebastian Rubedo and Kessiane Rodriguez taking those top numbers. And it is very light here on the inside, but it does look like Susanne is already back in position at the top and currently there on your screen. Daniela Moreno from Spain out on a 10-meter kite. And let's see if she can get in a couple of these waves. All right, further up the back, I can see out of the corner of my booth, Susanne is dropping in on a wave. Cameraman to the right. And here we can see her dropping in on a little wave. Susanne Schwarztraber, coming out of Germany, the core rider, and going in there one more time. And as you can see, the lights are being turned on as it is getting dark out here. On the right-hand side, we can see Susanne Schwarztraber from Germany versus Daniela Moreno from Spain on the left with the orange F1 and the white core as they make their way back up to the corner of the West Point Hotel for that right-hander. Daniela Moreno looks like she's finally getting a little wave here on the inside. Is this going to be enough? At the moment, she needs a 6.65 if she wants to take the lead. There is definitely a set. Okay, she's driving around. Is she going to be taken off in this one? Can she get in? No. Doesn't have enough power in the kite to be able to go through. And here we can see Susanne making her way down. And not a lot of action out there, unfortunately, due to the fact that the wind is very light. But all right, here we have Daniela Moreno coming in on one more wave. Is she going to be able to pull anything off? Yes, she is. Little bit of a top turn, get that kite down. No, it is so light here on the inside. Very unfortunate conditions for these two athletes out there right now to decide who will be going through to the next round of the competition. Four and a half minutes left. And it is Susanne on the core kite all the way up on the right-hand side. Trying to get back into position to see if she can take off a couple more waves. Just under 4 minutes left. 8.64 there for Susanne Swarstrauer. With a nice 4.87 on that last ride. So definitely getting some potential score in there. Making the most out of these marginal conditions. And here we can see her going out one more time for the final heat of the day. Right, first turn, first decent wave we've seen so far. But again, it pulled off of her feet there, just closing out in front of her. And at the moment, still 8.64 in the lead, Susanne Swarstrauer, who is currently in the command of this heat. Being able to pick off a couple of the small waves to be able to get some scores up there on the board for the final heat here of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup. And still waiting to see, as it is the final minutes in this heat. And as we said before, it does look like the tide and the waves have disappeared. Well, we will be closing off for the day. Day number 2 here for the Dakhla Moroccan event, the first event of the season of the wave discipline. And there it is, the last minute, ultimo minuto, final minute. As we can start to see the lights being turned on. And what a day of action it has been down here. With the best of the best battling it out against themselves and Mother Nature. To give us some of the best surfing we have seen down here in Morocco. Because wow, has Dakhla delivered over the past 2 days, and tomorrow is looking great as well, where we'll be starting off with the quarterfinals of both the men and the women. And cannot wait to see who are going to be our champions down here on the Western Sahara, as there are very strong contenders on both divisions. But who is going to be able to dig deep and drive through the pain and draw the blood, as there can only be one. Who is it going to be? We will soon find out. And there it is, that is the final buzzer of the day, as that is the end of this heat. And that is it for the day, the final heat there of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla. And what a day of action it has been. We've had some of the highest scores to date. Sebastian Ribeiro there with the highest wave, and also Kessiani Rodriguez. The Brazilians, one more time, they are throwing down here in Morocco, and I cannot wait to see the action out there for day number 3. On behalf of all of the crew, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Make sure to tune in bright and early tomorrow, as we will be back live. Until tomorrow, good night.
I've thought about this, I've dreamt about this. It's just been such a great experience and I'm so stoked. No words to describe how great I'm feeling right now.